What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my very handsome co-host, Joey Wright, John Luke Garofalo, and joining us today, a familiar face here on Front Yard Fantasy, our great friend, Coop A. Fiasco. What's up, Coop?
What's up, gang? No, I have to clarify. Am I a guest today, or am I a surprise co-host? Because if I'm a guest, that means you have to treat me like a guest and be nice to me.
You are so handsome, Coop. You're like the handsomest man I've ever seen.
There it is.
And so smart. You're just really smart too. Did that answer your question,
Joey? I didn't say.
Joey?
It took me forever to get you off of this network, and now you're back. That's how I feel about it.
I'm back. Yes, dude. Thank you for having me, boys. Always a good time.
We got people in the chat hyped to see our friend Coop here. JL's mom. What's up, Ma? In here saying, yay, Coop. And we got Dave in the chat with great hair, Coop. Yeah, Coop, you are looking extra stylish. Gelled.
My plan to wear a hat for the rest of my life was unfortunately thwarted this weekend by
such a good plan.
I thought I was going to get away with it. I made it like 2 months, and then now an engagement party on a roof deck at a bar where I turned to 3 of my different buddies. I was like, this place's hats are cool here, right? Like it's downtown Seaport, Boston. They were like, dude, absolutely not. So
total hat place.
Dude, that's total roof deck, Seaport, Boston. Yeah,
Coop,
Ocean Prime.
You just gotta have your philosophy needs to have a part 2. You're either wearing a hat or have COVID.
Unbelievable. I wish I knew what I did. Yeah, with the coffee, what I did is I went to the barber. I took my phone and I just showed them a picture of Alfredo Brown.
And they said, we'll do our best, man.
Yeah, they said I was like this. I said here. Do you see it now? Go.
We got some more people in the chat hype for today's show. Mauricio here with Amigos. Let's go. And Ladarius down here saying good afternoon. Hoping all is well with all.
Happy belated birthday, Ladarius.
Hey, Ladarius.
Happy birthday, Ladarius. Maybe you'll get a new quarterback for the Falcons for your birthday.
Ouch.
We got Anthony stopping. No, I genuinely hope he gets a new quarterback for the Falcons for his birthday. Justin Fields or Kirk Cousins, they're going to be throwing a party there in Atlanta.
That ouch was for Desmond Ridder.
Yeah. Sorry, Desmond. Not for Ladarius. What's up, Anthony? Welcome in, my friend. And Andrew said, hello, FYFers. Do you believe in miracles? A miracle on ice was 44 years ago today. How did we go the entire time that Coop wasn't on the show without hockey being brought up a single time? He's back on for 5 minutes, and hockey's brought up immediately.
I'm telling you, dude, it's the curse. Now, where's Dustin? Dustin Lucky, like he appears the moment the hockey talk. There he is, right there in the chat, dude. Hockey talk, baby, let's go.
This is serendipitous because this week, for the first time in at least a decade, I went ice skating.
And how did it go?
My leg has a giant scab on it.
Can you
exhausting? I'm not very good.
Can you stop like the sideways stop, or you just do like the kind of
not.
Okay.
Of course not. I feel like nobody can do that. That's not
It's
even
scary.
a real move. That's movie magic right there.
Yeah.
What color was your spandex suit that you were ice skating in?
Bright pink.
It's a good choice.
Yeah.
Did you go with Maria?
Nope. My friend Brian.
Just you and Brian?
Did you guys hold hands?
Me and
by
Brian
yourself.
We were cruising, man.
You turned to Brian, you said, we're going to skate to one song and one song only.
I'm imagining JL just driving past the ice forum by himself and being like, I haven't gone skating in a while. Just pulling in, getting some rental skates by himself, going around.
Brian, what are you doing?
Dancing to like Colby Calais because they haven't updated their playlist since 2003.
We walk up to this place and there's a dude outside smoking a cig with like a hoodie, like a, what do you call it? Like a beanie on. And I'm like, we're walking up this man. He either works here or we're in a movie. And he's going to give us some sort of, like, he's going to be the one that gives us our quest. Because this is at like noon on a Tuesday.
Please tell me he gave you a quest, dude.
It was definitely a quest, yeah. Skating 3 hours to this one song without stopping with Brian.
That reminds me of my first week living in an apartment in Augusta. I hadn't met my neighbor yet, and I come home for lunch one day, and I get cornered by this man I've never met who just starts yelling stories at me and making it sound so urgent that he needs to get to the trampoline park nearby. Now, this man is like 35, clearly inebriated and yelling at me, and I just have to get to work, and I'm 20 and non-confrontational at the time. So I just said, get in my car. And I dropped a 35-year-old drunk man off at the trampoline park in the middle of an afternoon on a weekday and just said, okay, I'll see you at home, and left.
Oh my God. That guy probably took an absolute baiting on the trampoline.
That's Brian.
Was this your roommate or your neighbor?
My neighbor. You said that's Brian?
Yeah.
He's killing it, man. Well, we got a game today we're going to play. We're going to play some poll perception with our friend Coop. If you guys aren't already following Coop, make sure you go and follow him on Twitter at Coop8Fiasco. He's the lead NFL analyst over at Fantasy Alarm. And you can hear him saying words on SiriusXM as well, usually about football.
Sometimes.
And if you got tight end questions, Coop, not to pigeonhole him, but he is the tight end guy. And I just have to bring up, we all know Evan Ingram is Coop's favorite guy. And Evan Ingram went to my high school. Okay.
Dude,
This is crazy. These two things.
Evan Ingram went to my high school.
Joe, there's a third thing.
There's a third thing that gets added to this. Coop's other guy last year was Chickasee Okonkwo. Loved that guy as a tight end. I was Googling stuff about Chickasee Okonkwo the other day, and turns out he also went to my high school just like 4 years later. So Coop's two favorite tight ends last year both went to my high school.
Yeah, we could have so much content, dude.
Oh,
there was just so much there that he just didn't know.
Tight end is your favorite tight end.
Yeah, dude. So interesting, man. I'm going to your high school reunion whenever it is, or find out when their class is because you guys are in the same class. Whatever it is, I'll let you know.
I'll let you guys know. At tight end but it's a high school. Well, guys, like I said, we're gonna play some poll perception. Joey versus JL versus Coop today in today's game. I reminded you to go follow Coop on Twitter. After you do that, make sure you're back here on our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button if you like what we're doing. And hit that subscribe button if you don't like what we're doing. It'll let us know to change some things up. I promise we know the difference between a supportive subscribe and an unsupportive subscribe. You guys ready to get into our game?
Oh, yeah.
Draw my pen.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to need a pen, but not till the end. So you got a little bit of time to figure it out. The game today is poll perception. It is the game that tests our contestants' understanding of the public perception of the fantasy football landscape. Before this show, I found 7 juicy, succulent, delicious polls online asking about fantasy football players, picks, drafts, trades, all different things that we're discussing at this point in the off season. I will pose a poll to one of our contestants. I may say, what percentage of people chose side A, Saquon Barkley, over side B, DeAndre Hopkins in Dynasty? If I pose that to you, JL, you would give an answer like
22%.
Now, the other two contestants would be responsible for saying whether the actual answer, that is the percentage of people that chose side A, is over or under John Luke's answer. If you guys get that right, you'll earn 2 points. JL, you would earn points based on how close you are to the actual answer. We're talking 10 points if you're exactly right, 1 if you're 15 away, and it scales up in increments of 5 within that range. Once we get through 6 polls like this, though, we're moving on to our 7th round. That is 2 polls for each of you, in which there is no more of this over-under nonsense. There's just writing down the percentage that you think chose side A, and whoever's closest is getting 5 points, unless they're exactly right, in which case they will still get that full 10. The person with the most points at the end of this game is our poll perception champion for today. Coop, how you feeling about poll perception heading into this one?
So you know how I feel about this game.
I love it.
Well, the crazy part is that I was literally just supposed to talk to JL. I just wanted to see how JL was doing, and next thing I know, I'm here in this corner of the screen. Like I've been trapped. But I don't know. Poll perception, I've never won on this show for sure, or any show. I don't think for that matter. So hopefully, after playing poll perception with you guys hundreds of times, I think this might be my time.
You haven't won a single time?
I don't think so, man. I'm terrible at poll perception. I've only ever won 1 game on this show, and it was the last time I was on.
Well,
Craig will have to double check that.
We'll see if we can keep that winning streak going. I think
like
Anthony in here had a question. Jawan Johnson. Anybody have anything to add to that?
Did he go to your high school?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'll Google it. Maybe. Oh my God, he did.
I wouldn't be surprised, dude. Well, because he was a wide receiver at the time, so he couldn't go to the elite. He didn't get into the elite tight end high school at the time.
Late bloomer.
Yeah.
And
he
wasn't
was,
tight
he
enough.
was down the street at Harrison with all the rich preppy kids and Justin Fields. Well, guys, we're going to get into our game. The order has been randomly decided before this started. John Luke, you are going first. Coop, you will be sandwiched in the middle. And Joey, you are going to be going third in today's game. JL, are you ready for your first poll?
Yep.
Here's what I want to know. Reminder to everybody in the chat, play along. Throw your guesses in there. If you're exactly right, we will shout you out and celebrate like no other. If you're very wrong, we'll mock you and judge you silently until next week's show, probably, when you give us a good answer. And if you give an average answer, we'll just forget about it and move on with our lives. John Luke, here is your first
Fart
poll.
in the wind. Yep.
Which side do you prefer in a 12-team Superflex PPR Dynasty League? Side A is the 2024 102, and side B is Bijan Robinson. What percentage of people said they would prefer the 102 in this year's rookie draft in a Superflex Dynasty League?
Superflex, which is going to make that 102 way
Also,
more valuable.
Anthony said, I was just throwing it out there. Maybe another random tight end went there. That's exactly what he was thinking. Anthony, that's
I
fun.
think it's the best, dude.
Juwan Johnson. They'll know what that means. All right, Superflex 102. Yeah, I gotta think the 102 is got to be close to Bijan, given that it's a Superflex league, and Bijan's a running back. But I still think Bijan probably wins out. I'm gonna go with 46%.
46% from John Luke on that one, which means Coop, we're coming to you. Do you think the actual answer is over, under, or exactly the same as John Luke's guess of 46%?
Pretty impossible question. And
That's the name of our show. We ask the impossible of our guests.
it's just, yeah. And you know what? I'm going to say under, but I just want to point one thing out. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed the trend. I feel like there's a trend recently where people are just like mean to you if you don't play Superflex in Dynasty. Have you noticed that? It's like they just talk down to you. Like
It goes in waves. There's the waves of Superflex is superior, and then you'll get the counter wave of let people play however they want. And there's like a period of niceness, but then too many people play however they want. And those judgy people come back out and they're like, add another quarterback, you basic bitch.
right. Yeah. They're like, they're just like, it's okay. Like, I'm just like, you can play whatever you want. And they're like, no, so I don't know. In this one, I feel like there's enough people that play single QB that they're just going to click Bijan's name. But in Superflex, QBs are so valuable, it probably should be under. So I'm going to go under.
Taking the under from Coop. Joey, do you think over or under 46% of people chose the 2024 102 in this poll?
I think it's going to be over. With the 102, you can either get Marvin Harrison Jr. or you can get Caleb Williams. And right now, I would rather have both of those players over Bijan Robinson. Maybe because Arthur Smith's no longer in Atlanta, maybe the hype on Bijan's a little bit up, or the stock's up a little bit on him. But I still think side A is going to win this. So congratulations, JL. You split the room.
We
I
got
don't know why I said under when I made the argument for over. But
that's what I was kind of curious, because you did make the argument for over. And then
I switched mine to over.
That's called the JL.
I will actually, I will accept the button that I did hit, which was under, but just let the record show that I'm on Joey's team.
I think because he laid out the over and then he said under, and I was like, I think because this happened to me where I did not understand how to play the game after being with the company for a year and a half. So I think that's what just happened to you.
100% that's what happened. Well, actually, I know exactly how to play the game. I just wasn't thinking. So can I get over, or do I have to stick with under?
I'll leave it up to your fellow competitors. It has to be unanimous.
Hell no.
Hell no. I was hoping that would be the answer. I was just giving someone else the opportunity to be the bad guy. We got some answers in the chat. Dave coming in, agreeing with you guys, 78%. Scampers on the other side, though, at 22%. Dustin flirting in the middle of those two at 37%. Ladarius at 47%, right in line with you, JL. Andrew ever so slightly on the other side of 50% with 54%. We got Anthony coming in with 57%. Dame with 28%. And Toronto said over City, baby. And one more guess coming in from Mauricio with 68%.
Mauricio.
Well, the actual percentage of people that chose the 102 over Bijan Robinson was 58%. 58%, which means, John Luke, you are within 15 percentage points, so you're going to get one. Joey, you are going to get 2 points for correctly picking the over in this one. And Coop, you're going to get nothing for pushing the wrong button during your John Luke, since you answered this one, I did want to ask you, which side of this would you prefer? Are you buying into maybe the Bijan says he wants to get 2,000 yards next year. Arthur Smith is gone. Are you buying into maybe an increased value for him? Or is that 102 too valuable with players like Joey mentioned, Marvin Harris and Caleb Williams sitting there?
I think this is a pretty fair trade. The risk that you're taking on with the rookie pick is offset by Bijan Robinson's eliteness at his position. And I expect that going forward. Bijan Robinson is ridiculously young. He's only been in the league for 1 year, but he's still a running back. Running backs aren't as valued as highly in the NFL than quarterbacks are. Yeah, I think I would lean the quarterback side, but I think this is a very fair trade, and I think going either side, depending on your strategy, is a totally fine move.
Joey, you were the one who chimed in and said you would prefer the 102 side, and as soon as you said the names, it kind of clicked for me that I would as well. But whenever you just leave the pick number in there, which of those players, if you have the 101, because you mentioned both could be available, are you taking Caleb Williams or are you taking Marvin Harrison Jr.?
If I feel somewhat confident with my two quarterbacks that are already there, I'm going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's a once-in-a-generation talent. I think it's been said a lot. Definitely the highest scouted wide receiver that's come out of the league, that's coming into the league in quite a while. If I need the quarterback, I'll take Caleb Williams. So, yeah.
I think that's how I feel as well, Joey. How my mind is Marvin Harrison Jr. feels more like a hit for sure, whereas Caleb Williams has a high probability of hitting at a more valuable position. So if that value maybe gets taken away, then I'm left with a super high ceiling, more guaranteed hit at the other position. Coop, are you taking the pick here or are you taking Bijan? I'm getting everyone's take because this, like JL said, is a close trade.
Yeah, I mean, like one of my more controversial takes is that like I always side typically with the NFL player. Like people are like, oh, where would you take Jalen Waddle if he was in a rookie draft? And I would take him at 1 because he's already been good at the NFL. And we forget that 50% of guys don't hit, right? Like 50% of guys are just misses. But to Joey's point, dude, Marvin Harrison Jr. is so good. And also the whole people talk about pedigree, right? And like having parents and stuff that are involved. Part of that is that you look at some of these guys and they fall in with bad crowds and they get lost and you can't even like reach out to them and they're just like separating themselves from the team. With guys that are connected to the league, like I just feel like it's a lot harder for that to happen. Like think about Christian McCaffrey with his dad being Ed McCaffrey. Like what are the odds that like his father can't smack him and be like, hey, you know what, dude, get it together, right? Like Marvin Harrison Jr. feels so bust proof just because he's already so connected to the NFL, you know?
I think there's objectively an advantage that he has there. Given that, I think you could definitely make that argument, assuming that his father has been teaching him and giving him that scaffolding for a good portion of his life.
It sure as hell looks like it based on what we see on the field.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald
never give me scaffolding.
Larry Fitzgerald is an example too. Like his dad worked for the Vikings and he was there at practice every day talking to Chris Carter and Randy Moss. Like he already knew how to be an NFL player way before he was. So right. I give that an advantage. I think I would take the pick in this case in Superflex.
The chat seems to be with us on the pick side. Dave saying he'd go all the way down to the 104 over Bijan. After that first poll, Joey's got an ever so slight lead, 2-1 over John Luke, but we still got 6 polls left. Coop, are you ready for your first poll?
Very excited.
Here we go. Here's what I want to know. Which player would you prefer in Dynasty? Side A is Chris Olave. Side B is the other wide receiver in this class, Malik Neighbors. What percentage of people said they would prefer side A, Chris Olave?
This is the worst time of year to play this game.
Before we know any information about landing spots, just so you know, the poll did actually say without knowing rookie landing spots.
And people are so excited, dude. And we haven't had the combine yet, so everybody's on. Like everybody's
pro days.
Everybody ran a 4.42. You know what I mean? Like or 4.3.
Just
right?
one existing NFL player and one rookie coming in.
That's what I'm saying, dude. So I don't know. I would take Chris Olave. Right. So I would take Chris Olave, but I think it's going to be close because there's so many people there are people even arguing that Malik Neighbors, 1A, 1B with Marvin Harrison. So I think it will be close. I think I'm going to say that 55% of people take Chris Olave. People love Chris Olave. They love
5%. Locking that in?
Yeah.
5-5, some
That's
vibe. Joey, are you taking the over, under, or queen bee on Coop's guess of 55% on the Olave side here?
I think it's a really good number. It's a really, really good number.
Queen,
I'm going to go.
Queen B, you coward.
Yeah,
No.
coward.
It's such a bad play.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I think more people said Chris Olave because while I do agree that I think Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. are a little closer to 1A, 1B, I do think Marvin Harrison's name's a lot more well known. So I think it's going to be slightly over.
Slightly over. Coop, you're right. It's almost like the parlay that pays out 40,000 to 1, but you just can't help it.
Queen
like,
B.
I gotta do it, man.
A good come on gets me.
Come on. We got to guess at 55%. We got an over from Joey. Are you taking the over, under, or Queen B on Coop's guess at 55% on the Olave side?
I'm gonna go with the over.
We got over from John Luke. So double overs here for your answer, Coop. And we got some answers in the chat. Dame coming in thinking opposite from you guys at 33%. Anthony agreeing, so tough without landing spots. Yeah, it changes everything. Remember when Clyde Edwards-Helaire all of a sudden became the RB1 because he got drafted by the Chiefs?
Ouch.
So maybe this is a good time to have the polls, actually. Jonathan Taylor would have won that poll then. Ladarius in here with 61%. Anthony said 66 take Neighbors, so 44% on the other, 34% on the other side. Sorry, my math was off there for a second. Dustin coming in with 62% and said take the receiver with the better team name pun potential. I'd say both of these are pretty good as far as pun potential goes. You got Olave Garden. Won't you be my neighbors? You could do some Mr. Rogers type stuff with that. That's not really a pun,
but what? Sorry.
I actually, I thought of that, and then I thought Joey will say it. I'll just let someone else say that one.
Well, guys, the actual percentage of people that chose Chris Olave over Malik Neighbors was Rookie Fever's hitting 42%, baby, which means our closest answer in the chat was Anthony saying 66 on the Neighbors side right there.
Yeah, nice job.
So nice job on that one, Anthony. We had 42% for Chris Olave, and I think it's what you guys said. I think it's Rookie Fever taking control. Coop, you're going to earn 1 point for being within 15 percentage points there, but you did skunk your opponents, which means we have a very close game of 2 to 1 to 1 after 2 polls.
Ooh, it's a barn burner.
It is a barn burner. Coop, are you still in on Chris Olave, or is the dysfunction of the Saints causing you some panic? I believe they're about the entire salary cap over the salary cap right now, if I'm not mistaken.
The back-to-back can kicking champions of the world, right?
One day it has to catch up with him, right? Like one day we're going to read the news article like Saints can no longer kick can down road, franchise folds. Like,
they'll never pay the piper.
Salary cap is real, it turns
they'll
out.
They're going to get – imagine they just move the Saints eventually. They're just like, oh, nah, sell the team, dude. It's like that Dynasty orphan team. You trade all the picks, you trade all the picks away and then orphan the team. Yeah, I mean, like, I think Joey makes a great point. Imagine if there wasn't a Marvin Harrison Jr., that poll would have been like 90%, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's probably the only thing that's holding people back. But for me, like, this guy, he's been in the league. He's, produced at a high level. He's had quarterback issues, right? It's the same thing with like Garrett Wilson. People love Garrett Wilson, and it's so much easier to make the excuse for him. I think Chris Olave, it's easy to make those same excuses. I think he's going to be just fine. And these were guys that I wasn't necessarily high on. I just look around to that team and, the new offensive setup and what they plan to do. And I think he's going to be just fine. And they might even have to like really piece it together with Rashid Shaheed playing a lot more snaps now. They might even have to find a way to bring Michael Thomas back. I mean, I know it's rough, but like, what are they going to do? Like, what is this team? Is it going to be A.T. Perry at split end? Is that the
make
plan?
a lot of dynasty managers happy if they get one more season of production out of Michael Thomas, even if it's just like emergency flex value. They'll be celebrating that it's not wasted.
Right now, it's set to be A.T. Perry split end, Rashid Shaheed as like the flanker, and then like Olave moving around at slot flanker. Like, he's probably going to have a really good year.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
What if Arthur Smith goes and joins the Saints organization after sitting there going, fuck you to Dennis Allen in that game?
That would be the best thing for Falcons fans. Good thing. Luckily, he's terrorizing Steelers fans now. So
if Arthur Smith goes to the Saints, Rashid Shaheed would be a top 12 running back. Not wide receiver. We would just be like, what the hell? You've got Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, and Michael Thomas, and Rashid Shaheed at 185 carries.
Trades for Kyle Pitts.
Foster Moreau. Foster Moreau would be like a top 5 tight end.
But you never felt good about starting him. Well, guys, after that round, the score is 1-1-2 with Joey in the lead, and we are coming to our final poll of round 1. Joey, this one is yours. Are you ready for it?
Simon, I'm so excited. I had to wait for these two knuckleheads to fart through their questions. I'm ready for mine.
Unbelievable, dude. You got no points last time.
Can't believe you said
Let's see the gas you pass through this one. What I want to know is, which side do you prefer in Superflex Dynasty? Side A is the 2024 109, and side B is Will Levis. What percentage of people said they would prefer the 109 in this trade or in this poll?
So a starting quarterback or Will Levis, or the 109. That was a 40 that might have been right. Because Will Levis was going maybe middle round 2 last year. So I'm going to say side A wins, and I'll go 61%.
61% on side A on the 109 side. John Luke, do you think the actual answer is over or under Joey's guess of 61% on side A?
I'll go over.
JL taking the over here. Coop, what do you think?
Man, I think people are going to take the quarterback, dude.
Really?
What are you going to take at 109, man? That's like
anything other than Will.
You're going to turn around and take JJ McCarthy. I guess JJ McCarthy could be good, but I think Will Levis, man, he's got a big arm. He's our generation's Jay Cutler, dude. Like I actually kind of like just zero fundamentals.
You just changed my viewpoint on Will Levis in like half a second.
Just literally throwing off his back foot, huck it, chuck it, don't care, like, which I enjoy. I enjoy watching it. So I actually think I personally would rather have Will Levis, but that doesn't even answer the question. It's really about what the internet would say, which is horrifying thought. And I'll still side with me. And I'm going to go with under on that.
Under from Coop. So we've got 61% from Joey, over from John Luke, under from Coop. You split the room, Joey, and we have some answers in the chat. Toronto Dave in here with 62%. Scampers with 79. Anthony coming in with 58% on that 109/JJ side. Toronto Dave said under 50 for Banana Boy.
Terrible guess.
Josh said Mayo Coffee Creamer for the win. Dustin coming in with 72%, but also wants to know, was this from a pro Mayo account? This is from a pro Miracle Whip account. Ladarius in here with 67%. And Dame with 88%. Yeah, there's one. It's the Miracle Whip official account. And that's where this poll came from.
Dame not on my team. That's not good.
Now Dame coming in with 88%. Well, guys, the actual percentage of people that said they would take the 109 over Will Levis was 79%. Joey, unfortunately, that is no points for you. John Luke, 2 points for you. Going to put you in an ever so slight lead in this barn burner of a game. Where the score is now 3-1-2. JL leading 1-2-3, maybe after
Watch
that one.
out.
Joey, I did want to ask you, do you have hope that Will Levis turns into a weekly fantasy startable quarterback?
I have hope that any quarterback with a pulse turns into a weekly startable fantasy quarterback. Like, honestly. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying, though. Like, I think they need to get him some more work there. I think that Treylon Burks is not going to do it alone. Do we know if DeAndre Hopkins is there next year? I don't think we know that for sure. I could see the Titans taking one of these high-profile wide receivers with their draft pick this year.
Oh, that would be fun. I'm just hoping that it doesn't turn into another situation where he's on my dynasty rosters, like with Jimmy Garoppolo and Tyrod Taylor, and I don't quite know whether I hold on to these quarterbacks because they're quarterbacks, but I'm never starting them unless it's an emergency. It's kind of where it feels like the trajectory is headed for Levis.
He's fun. I'll say that.
He is fun.
All right.
DeAndre Hopkins is still under contract, but they do have a potential out this year.
I did a little write up on that. It really could go either way. I think he would be a trade candidate if he were to move anywhere. They actually save a lot more money by trading him than cutting him, which those guys are the guys where you look at the trades and you're like, what the heck? This guy got traded for like nothing. And then you realize that if they were going to cut him, they might as well just trade him for anything because you save like an extra couple million. If you have it up, JL, I think do you have the numbers there? I think it's
Yeah.
there's a benefit to trading him, but I think they keep him. And a Redditor pointed out, I think just yesterday on one of my articles commented, I bet Gabe Davis signs a lot of money to go to the Titans, and then he's mediocre. And I think that I could see that mediocre Titans Gabe Davis happening as well this year. So, I don't know. What do you have it, Joe?
I don't know where that info is on Spotrac.
We can pull it up. If
Click the little X next to the name on the right, and it'll show you.
While you guys are looking that up, we're going to move into round 2 here. I'm going to explain something here, but before we do that, we have a new mechanic that we need to introduce. His name is Gregory. He specializes in German vehicles, especially BMWs, which means he's going to overcharge you for whatever work you need done on your X6. But besides that, he's wonderful with his children. We also have a new game rule that we're implementing here in round 2. There are 2 more options you can choose whenever you're guessing over, under, or queen bee. You may now choose way over or way under as well. This means that you think the answer is more than 15 percentage points away from the actual answer. That is non-inclusive. So it needs to be 16 percentage points away or more. Way over is if it's way over. Way under is if it's way under. And if you are, in fact, correct on that amount, you will double your points. But if it is just over and you guessed way over, you're going to get 0 points. It's a double or nothing mechanic. You guys ready to head into the next round here?
Yep. Oh, yeah, with my big old lead.
With Joe, big old lead of 1 point. John Luke?
Put Dustin's question. Put Dustin's comment up there. I want to talk about it.
We do have Dustin in here saying Joey believed Samaje Perine could be a fantasy asset. He will believe in anyone.
Okay, so Samaje Perine led the league last year in running back yards per target. So it's not my fault he didn't get used the same way that I thought he was going to get used.
Boom,
he led the
shakalaka.
league last year.
Whose fault is it?
Samaj Mapipi.
No, every
Could
time
have been. What could have been?
What could have been?
Yeah. No, it was a bad call. It was a bad call.
Johnson here saying Levis with Jalen Hyatt would be fun. Just chuck it. Yeah, that's what we're hoping for, is just some of that action before Levis before he either gets older or gets benched.
He's a starting quarterback in the NFL, though. I mean, I just feel like
for now
at 109 in Superflex, a lot of those guys, they might not even start. You know,
Mac Jones is a starting quarterback in the NFL. Give me the 109. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up to a Patriots fan in the offseason. JL, are you ready for your first poll in round number 2?
Yep.
Here's what we got. What I want to know is, which tight end do you prefer in Dynasty? Side A is TJ Hawkinson. Side B is Mark Andrews. What percentage of people said side A, TJ Hawkinson?
I love this one. Went to jail.
This is tough, yeah.
This is very tough. Hawkinson, Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, he had a tough season. And I feel like that's going to probably skew people's perception of him.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I love when they say the name of the game on this show.
It's my favorite part. Oh, man. All right, TJ Hawkinson. Mark Andrews, how much older is Mark Andrews than TJ Hawkinson? 2 years?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, thank you, Coop. All right, 2 years then. That's enough.
There's Jail. There's so many variables, man. You just gotta...
I was like, don't even say them out loud. Just
you're gonna work your way through this. You need like an intermission.
We did this in our head. Oh my god! All right, I think Hawkinson probably just won this at 52%.
52% from John Luke on the Hawkinson side. Coop, do you think it's over or under John Luke's guess? Or Queen B, or way over, or way under?
I think it's a good guess. And I do think more people are going to pick Hawkinson, and those people are wrong, dude. Mark Andrews is like, he's awesome. He has a top 5 all-time season on his resume already. He's 28 years old. Zach Ertz had his first 1,000-yard season at 28. Travis Kelce had his first at 27, right? But people just, whenever you turn 28 or 29, you're just dead to fantasy Twitter.
Yeah.
Everybody. So they're gonna pick TJ Hawkinson coming off a torn ACL over Mark Andrews in this poll. I guarantee they will, and I'm gonna say over because it's dumb. So
after like 6 years in the league, they're tired of hearing your name unless unless you've been the best the whole
It's
time.
true. It's true. The longer, especially
new names.
it's funny.
new
Like
names.
the younger, dude, the younger you come in the league too, the sooner that happens. Like
Yeah.
I sit here, I look at Tyler Boyd, and I'm like, he's 100 years old.
Yeah.
But like Tyler Boyd is younger than Tyreek Hill, right? Like he just has been around forever and ever.
Amari
Look, I'm not
Cooper
even a
basically
little bit
is-
tired of Hendon Hooker. Not even 1 second am I tired of him yet.
Yeah,
I didn't have to look that up, Coop. Like you're wrong. Tyler Boyd is not 100 years old.
he is not. You'd think he is, but he's only 29.
He's only 87.
He's only 87, dude.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the over from Coop confidently reading the fantasy landscape. Joey, are you following Coop on the over? You doubling down with the way over? Are you taking under, way under, or queen B?
We have a self-proclaimed tight end expert on the show, so I'm going to follow him.
and Joey is the
I don't
self-proclaimed.
even-
he started the sentence and said, "Nope, let me back up and add
First
this."
of all, rude.
And then he still
Second-
followed your answer, though.
First of
Hey,
all,
Coop,
rude.
actually, I finished third the fantasy pros among tight ends. Of all
Hell
of them.
yeah, dude!
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I
dude.
did
You're
you proud. I did you proud.
You're the tight end
How
whisperer.
much money did they give you?
Yeah.
$300.
Holy
Scampers
Yeah,
in, you're saying
that's right.
round 10 P Ryan Kings for life, baby. We got Dame in here with 28%, Scampers with
P. Ryan
37,
Kings.
Justin with 83.
The P.
Hot
Ryan
with
King.
I can't
70%.
describe anything good.
No,
The P. Ryan Kings.
The P. Ryan King.
It's Scottfish coming in with
We was
TJ
Kangs.
Schuster is 27 and Amari Cooper is 23 still somehow.
got
Yeah, that's
that Benjamin
incredible.
Jason Tatum's 14.
Well, guys, the actual percentage of people with Coop's guess of 52% or JL's guess of 52% and the double over from Coop and Joey, the answer is 51%. JL,
Nice.
you were 1 percentage point away, which is going to earn you 5 points, but your competitors were correct with their over under by the skin of their teeth.
What?
JL, that's going to move you up to.
Did they
we
go
were.
over?
They picked over.
I picked
Yeah.
over.
I picked
And-
52, and the answer was 51.
Oh, they're wrong. I don't
There
know.
you go.
Over, under, greater than, less than. Let's go back to third grade, baby.
Simon,
I
that's a
would- I say-
Joey mistake. Come on.
I think
Yeah.
Simon's subconscious is always working to try and just sabotage me in whatever way it could.
This is what we've learned.
Does
Yeah.
anyone-
A few weeks ago on the show, Craig broke it down for us that JL actually wins more games when I host than when Simon does.
Yeah, there's
Really?
stream host bias that is occurring.
wow.
Shocking for everyone.
Yeah.
I found that out.
Interesting.
We did think it was going to go.
We gotta
the other way.
dive in. We gotta do a deep dive into the
Yeah, you might
rationale
have some
behind that.
resentment deep, like hidden in there, Simon. We got to find that, dig that bad boy out.
Oh,
Did
it's
you
only
eat one of
hidden
his
from
pizza,
you.
treat
I've got a
pizzas?
journal highlighting all the ways I'm going to get back at your ass, JL. I just,
There you go.
just keep it hidden.
Specifically his ass or other areas.
He has a totally second journal for like how he's gonna get back his knee.
That's what I was going to say. Is I've got a collection of journals here. I was just revealing one of them.
He just goes through and he's like, "What are we gonna do today? Elbow. Yeah, let's see."
No.
Operation Lunch Meat. That's for next week. Coop, that means it's your turn. JL has a fairly commanding lead. Are killing it on that poll and blocking you guys out with a near perfect guess. And JL, just so you know, it was 51.3%. So you were 0.2 percentage points away from that rounding up and being a perfect answer. Coop, are you ready for your next poll? Pressure's on, man.
Yep.
Here's what I want to know. Which side do you prefer in a half PPR dynasty league? Side A is Drake London. Side B is Tank Dell plus a late 2025 first. However, they would know that. That's just what they said in the question.
The tank hype is real, and I'm kind of in, man. There's a misconception on Tank Dell. People keep calling him a slot wide receiver when he actually pretty quickly earned that outside role. Played a ton of snaps out wide. Like Tank Dell is the real deal. I was worried that he would be too small, but he's not. He's good. I think this is going to be overwhelming for side B because people are off on Drake London, even though I personally still like him. But everyone disagrees with me and they're mean to me on Twitter. People spend all morning being mean to me on Twitter once again, but I digress. I'm gonna go side B, and I'm gonna go heavy on this one. I think people are gonna go side B at like 81%, jamming on side B.
So side A,
So side B 19, side A 19%.
19% on side A from Coop. Joey, Do you think the actual percentage of people that chose Drake London in this poll is over or under? Coop's guess of 19%. Way over, way under, and Queen Bee are on the table as well.
I completely agree with everything Coop said, but people are dumb on Twitter sometimes. And so
I totally forgot.
I think it's going to be just a little bit higher because people are dumb. I would take Tank Dell for Drake London straight up. Like at this point, I'm not really sure where I am on Drake London, but I know where I'm on Tank Dell. That's having him on my teams. So
Joe, you are taking which side here?
I'm going to go over 19% because people are dumb. I want you to write that into the answer, please.
19% people are dumb. Got it written down. John Luke.
Great answer.
Are you taking over, under, way under, or Queen Bee on Coop's guess of 19% on the Drake London side?
I'm going to take the over. Yeah, I think more people chose Drake London.
Well, we've got a reverse split the room, as JL likes to say, and some answers in this chat. Toronto Dave saying, I love the Tank Dell love. And then coming in with 38%. Mr. Scamper said 11%. Anthony says Tank in the first side at 65%. So 35% on the other side. Dame coming in with 20%. And Anthony agreeing with you. Joey saying the people are dumb angle is how you have to assess these polls.
Yeah. Yeah. Coop forgets that every time we play.
I make sure to mention that. I feel like I give them too much credit at the end of the day.
There's also the 3% per team.
I feel like I need to make a point every time. I'm like,
you dumb people. Well, guys, the actual percentage of people that chose Drake London in this poll was 23%. Coop, great answer. You were within 5%, which is going to earn you 5 points. Your competitors were correct on their over guess, and I am right this time. So they're going to earn 2 points apiece. That's going to bring you up to 6. JL up to 10 and Joey up to 4. This is still anybody's game.
Can I tell you real quick why I love Tank Dell?
Yeah, I would love to hear why you love Tank Dell.
His name?
Is his name. All right, next question.
His access to the
Nathaniel. His name Nathaniel is what I really like. No, what I really like about Tank Dell is that this offense that they brought over, Bobby Slowick brought over from the 49ers, is the same one they use in San Francisco and in Miami. And the key is a fullback. Because you use that fullback, Kyle Juszczyk in San Francisco and Alec Ingold in Miami and Andrew Beck in Houston, because that fullback comes in, it takes the third wide receiver out of the game and it makes the targets really highly consolidated among the top 2 guys that stay in. That's why Debo and Aiyuk have a ton of targets, Tyreek and Waddle, and then it's like Braxton Berrios is the third guy. Who cares? And then now in Houston, it's going to be Nico and Tank Dell, and because of the fullback usage, it's going to really consolidate the targets among the top 2 guys. Very interesting, both those guys for fantasy football.
That's really interesting.
Well, how topical.
Football.
Because our next poll might include one of those other guys. Joey, this is the last poll before the final round. Are you ready for your poll?
Yes.
Which player do you value higher in Dynasty right now? Side A, Nico Collins, or side B, T. Higgins? What percentage of people said side A, Nico Collins in this poll?
I do think T. Higgins is staying with the Bengals, and I feel like that's pretty universally believed at this point. I'm going to say 50% Nico Collins, and then hopefully I'll mess up my opponents on trying to figure out how over and undering works with 50.
If 50% from Joey, dropping a little strategy bomb for his opponents. John Luke, do you think the actual answer is over, under, way over, or way under Joey's guess of 50% on the Nico Collins side?
I have to figure out which number is over and under first.
I'm stumped. I'm just gonna Queen Bee it. So
I'm out.
I can't risk it, dude. I can't.
50%. I'll go under.
JL taking the under on this one. Coop, what say you?
JL, you're making a classic mistake.
I know I am.
Where
I'm doing it in real time.
Both players are good, but you're forgetting the one thing.
Recency.
Shiny. Yes, exactly. Recency. Where one shiny new names. There it is. Yeah. New names. The other been hanging around for a while,
So I'm gonna go play and then doesn't on Thursday nights sometimes.
I will specify. I'll hit the correct button on this one, I believe, and say over on the 50%.
Yep, that's solid.
So you're
solid
saying
reasoning.
Nico Collins won this?
I'd say Nico Collins won the poll. Yeah. Stop trying to trick me with your
Dude, when
50.
anyone comes on the show and says 50%, my brain shuts off.
It shuts off. Yeah.
Just completely power down.
Scammers came in here and said, unless they use Tank Dell as the fullback.
Which
Dear
that's how
God,
that's,
let's hope not.
that's how he broke his leg, right? Just pretty much.
David, you're saying 57 because people are dumb. Higgins clears. Scampers coming in with 36%. Dame thinks it's 65. Anthony saying 60%
All
on
over the
Nico's
place.
side.
Yeah.
The actual percentage of people that chose Nico Collins was 63%, which means, Joey, you are within 15 percentage points, so you will earn 1 point, bringing you up to 5. Coop, you correctly guessed the over on that one, bringing you up to 8. And what this means is it is still anybody's game with a score of 10 to 8 to 5 going into the final round. Joey, if you get this one right, you will tie JL. If you are the closest, Coop or JL, if you are the closest, you will win this game. Any of you will win if you get it exactly right. Okay. You ready for our final poll?
Yes.
Get your pen and paper ready. I'm going to put this up on the screen. Write down the percentage of people that you think chose side A in this poll. I'll give you about 30 seconds to do so. Here it is. Which player would you prefer to roster in Dynasty going forward? Side A is Breece Hall. Side B is Jonathan Taylor. Side C is Bijan Robinson. And side D is Jahmyr Gibbs. What percentage of people said Breece Hall in this poll? While they're thinking and going through that, I want to remind everybody in the chat, if you're not already following our friend Coop, which if you're watching this and you're not already following Coop, I don't know what's going on. Go follow him on Twitter at Coop A Fiasco. Not only do you get to see pictures of his handsome face and fresh haircut, but he's dropping great fantasy football knowledge on you as well. And he knows ball, man. He knows ball.
And his aunt knows ball too.
And his aunt probably knows more ball than he does.
Auntie Coop, she do.
Was Auntie Coop here today? Did she watch it?
Well, no, I was such a late ad that I should have messaged her. I'll send it to her after. She was at, dude, you want to hear something funny? Not only did Auntie Coop ask about you guys.
I would love to hear it, Coop.
Not only did Auntie Coop ask about you guys recently, but the woman that cuts my hair asked about you guys.
I remember her. You had stories on stories about her.
She was asking about you guys. She's like, do you still see the guys? And I was like, I'm going on their show. Yeah. So, shout out Heidi, dude, and the folks over at Rome's. Everyone's thinking about you guys, you know?
What's up, Heidi?
She's like, why are you not on the show anymore, Coop? And you're like, Joey's an asshole.
No. We're all still friends. We're all good friends. I got to write a number down. Have you guys written one? What'd you guys write?
I wrote a number down. I wrote 20. That's it.
Well,
all right,
do we have time to discuss this question afterwards? Because I think it's a really interesting question of who we all would say what our guy would be.
We got a little bit of time. Let's see what you guys got for your answers.
I have 30.
I have straight vibe and 35. Oh,
no,
I got to change mine now.
We got double 35 from Coop and John Luke.
So I can't win.
30
God damn
from Joey.
Yes.
And the actual percentage. Oh, before I reveal the actual percentage, we got some answers in the chat for this one. We've got 20% from Dave, 5% from Scampers. Anthony coming in with 20%. Dame coming in with 24%. And the actual percentage of people that chose Breece Hall in this poll was 3-5 and straight vibe. It was 35%, baby. Which means with a final score of 20 to 18 to 5, JL, you are going to be our ever so slight.
That's amazing.
Congratulations, my friend.
Really?
Same answer, exactly right.
Just looking at the box score, this is more of a two-person game.
What a day to pick the meme answer, JL. The classic FYF meme. 3-5 straight vibe.
Queen B. Can I Queen B?
I never would have
thought I'll allow it.
Well, he does have the authority.
Overruled.
David here with the absolute cinema. It's an FYF miracle. It is an FYF miracle. I didn't even realize the final poll ended with 3-5 until you guys both guessed it. And then I was like, oh, baby, here we go.
What a day. All right. Hey, everybody. take tomorrow off work.
Hey.
You earned it.
You earned it. Yeah. If anyone needs a doctor's note, just print it, send them this clip, right? 3-5. We're straight vibing.
I thought you were gonna offer to write one for
I'll write it. I'll write you a doctor's note. But yes, send them this clip.
This
3-5 and straight vibing tomorrow. Day off. Take the day off.
Don't even send them the clip. Send them the link and a timestamp, and make them
3-day
find
weekend.
it.
yeah. I can't come in today. And they're like, why? And you said, you'll see. You'll see.
YouTube link.
A 1 hour YouTube show. We're at the 53 mark.
Did you
Some
really
random
send
dudes.
this to me?
Yeah.
Yes.
We should discuss this.
Yeah, I wanted to
like
hit this
Joey
real
said,
quick.
so.
Brees Hall got 35% of the vote. It was in first ever so slightly over Bijan at 33%, Jahmyr Gibbs at 24%, and then Jonathan Taylor at 9%. Joey, which one of these players are you picking on your dynasty roster?
I want Jahmyr Gibbs.
I thought
He's
you were
my
going to say
RB1 in
Jahmyr
Dynasty.
Gibbs. I thought you were going to say it.
Yeah, I truly believe
New
it. I
name.
mean, new name, no, but I do think he's tied to the best offense on the screen right now. You might be able to make the argument for Jonathan Taylor with the Colts, but dude, I'm all in on the Detroit Lions offense for a third year in a row, and Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a big part of it. I think David Montgomery is going to slide down a little bit in his timeshare. What Brees Hall did last year, though, on the limited amount of work he did with the whatever quarterback was playing each week, he could be something special with Aaron Rodgers for the next 2 years if Aaron Rodgers is back, just for what they were able to do together. But I mean, I want Jahmyr Gibbs. He's my dynasty RB1, and I'm not even thinking about Bijan. I'm really not.
Joe, we saw great things from Brees, all four of these guys, but I'm talking more about the young guys that there's question marks around. Brees, Bijan, and Jahmyr. We saw fantastic things from all three of them, but you're right there's the least uncertainty around Jahmyr Gibbs right now. Bijan Robinson, entire new coaching staff, new offensive philosophy. We saw misuse last year. Brees Hall, the Jets are just a giant question mark. And then Jahmyr Gibbs is on that
question mark.
Until I see it successful, I'm not going to believe in that offense. We had said all offseason, the Jets aren't a question mark. Aaron Rodgers gets injured. There's complete dysfunction in that offense, plugging Zach Wilson in. I'm just saying there's more of a question mark for Brees Hall than there is for a Jared Goff continuous led offense for Jahmyr Gibbs in Detroit. I don't know if I picked Jahmyr. I think I still pick Brees, but I get what you're saying, Joey.
Yep. Yeah, that was a long argument to sneak in. I would still pick Brees at the end, dog.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
My argument was for Jahmyr
Simon
Gibbs having the most stability out of any of these.
He does have most stability,
but the least uncertainty,
yes.
not for him being the best dynasty player.
Yeah, and with this group of players, we're splitting hairs, right? We're talking about guys like, I had this guy ranked 2, and I had this guy ranked 3, and then 4 and 6 or whatever. I do have Brees ahead just because last year, I mean, he quietly did finish as the PPR RB2 overall, right? Even in those conditions. So even if it's the same or as bad, he did very well. He's very explosive. But I love Jahmyr Gibbs too. In the modern NFL, especially Dynasty, I just want explosive guys, because we know they're going to split the backfields up, right? So I just want guys that are capable of at any point pulling a Devon Achane and taking 11 carries for 120 yards or whatever it is, right? So you want to have guys like Gibbs and Hall, and I'm steering away from the guys that I don't think have that ability because when things get split and they turn out just to be the plotter part of the backfield, that's how you end up with the Tyler Algiers or the Damian Pierces, and you can't even use those guys even in a partial snap share. So load up on these guys, but I think I still have Brees ahead. Jay, are you with me on that one?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think, and you made the main point there, which is that Brees Hall did do it in a poor environment, and so I think that alone gives me reason to think, well, hey, the Jets, they might have been a question mark and didn't do that well this year. It's pretty easy to point to what the Jets' problem was. It was that Aaron Rodgers, their quarterback, didn't play the whole season. Mm-hmm. And so if they replace that, or if they're assuming that Aaron Rodgers will be back, or they just get another quarterback, I don't think that the Lions are guaranteed a better offense than the Jets.
I agree because you use the word guaranteed, but if I'm a betting man and if we're looking at expected offensive output, I'd still throw money on the Detroit Lions and Jared Goff over the Jets turning it around. But I do get what you're saying. It maybe doesn't even matter for a player like Brees Hall. Maybe what matters for him is health. As long as he's healthy and on the football field, whether Aaron Rodgers or Zach Wilson, whoever's under center.
What did Jonathan Taylor get in this again?
The lowest.
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, he got 9%.
Yeah.
boring, old.
35-3.
He's going to be 24.
Heard his name before.
Lame. Yeah, he's right.
Tell me
He's
a name I
incredible.
haven't heard.
He's still incredible. Still has, Quinn Nelson and has the RPO quarterback. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be
But
surprised.
next, you're
if
going to tell me Derrick Henry's still good at football?
Yeah, can't be. I wouldn't be surprised if Jonathan Taylor ran for like 6 yards a carry this year with the RPO and stuff. It's just, I don't know how mobile QBs just don't seem to throw it to the running back enough for my liking. I need like a kind of a pocket passer, white bread dude who's like terrified and just wants
like
to
scared mobile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Drew Brees just being like, "You take it, Alvin." You know what I mean?
Shit,
Like,
I gotta go.
yeah, that's so much better for fantasy than guys that have heroes, right? I don't want
Or
a
the
hero at
skill
quarterback.
set and ability to do it themselves, like
Yeah.
where they don't need Alvin Kamara to come in and save their ass.
Like
Before
a
we go, guys,
dependency.
we got a question in here that I want to rapid fire hit from Big Breakfast right before we jump off. He wants to know, would you rather have Justin Jefferson and Christian Watson or Amon-Ra St. Brown and the 105 in a 10-team Superflex PPR league? Joey, are you taking Justin Jefferson and Christian Watson or Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 105?
Man, I need more context on just in a vacuum. I'll stick with the JJ side, but I hate Christian Watson. I just truly hate him. And that says a lot because I love him on St. Brown.
Yeah. You know what's funny though, Joey? Take Christian Watson out of the trade, and I think I like it better. Or it just looks it's more aesthetically
You're not
pleasing.
far off.
But I think
now I'm like,
right? Just look at the side where it says JJ for ARSB and the 105. I think I'm still taking the JJ. And the difference for me is that like ARSB, he still had, like JJ's capable of 2,000 yards. You know what I mean? Like ARSB, he just had like 1,500. So he's capable of big things. I just think JJ is like, he's just the best, man. He's far and away the best. So if I can just get those guys, I do it.
And in 10 team, the guys who are the best are even more important. John Luke, are you agreeing? Are you on the JJ side here?
I want to go the other side, but
I get it.
I agree with the points you just made, Coop. I think that's solid strategy. So it would come down to my team at that point, but I kind of like the other side just for the fun of it. You get Amon-Ra St. Brown and a high pick. So that's a little
picks are fun.
That's kind of
If
fun.
this was Superflex, I'd be more tempted because it could push some of those
10-team Superflex PPR.
Okay, it makes it a little pretty.
To JL's point, like 10 months of the year, that pick, I don't care. But like these couple months, I look at that pick and I'm like,
yeah, it's
give me that pick. I'm like,
this is the time of year where I start getting a little too excited about a guy
be
named
anything.
Zach Charbonnet or something.
yeah. Dude,
Guys,
try and trade me a pick in June. I don't want it.
Don't even do it.
Every time my cousin texts me, like, I sent you a trade, I'm like, I don't want your picks.
You wasted your time.
Later, guys. Sorry, what's up, Joey?
I
Oh, I just thought you had a pretty face on and wanted to stop by to
was
say
going to
hi.
ask Coop some question, but I think I realized he did say with my answer. to the question.
He did have a very pretty face, which is why I was
No,
I was taking a screenshot just now that Joey checked my timeline momentarily.
I will.
It's beautiful.
Do you think Amon-Ra St. Brown is safer than Justin Jefferson? Because if Kirk Cousins isn't there, how much do we love Jefferson? I mean, we still love Jefferson, but I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown's my wide receiver 4 in Dynasty right now.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is where we talk about range of outcomes for a player, and the range of outcomes for Christian Watson is like here to here. The range of outcomes for Amon-Ra St. Brown is like here. He's like exactly who he's going to be, and he's very good. It's not like the floor is the ceiling, right? Whereas Justin Jefferson, the ceiling is like way off the screen.
Big Breakfast, thanks for giving us some juicy offseason players to talk about. That JJ Amon-Ra St. Brown talk is going to be going all offseason long, I'm sure. That is it for us this week, though. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any of what we're putting out. And go follow our friend Coop on Twitter at CoopAFiasco. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, though, enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy your Friday off. See you guys on another time.
Arrivederci.
his hair gel.